Hey, before we dive in, a quick heads up. This series is called Validating the BPD Life, and that's exactly what it's here to do. Validate the experience of living with borderline personality disorder, hopefully making you feel a little less alone. That said, if you don't have BPD, there's still value here, especially if you've loved or currently love someone who does. But fair warning, we'll be talking about some heavy stuff. Self-harm, self-destructive behavior, hospitalizations, and a lot of emotional pain. You might feel grief, guilt, anger, rage, shame, or confusion while watching. And if you do, that makes sense. Don't judge yourself for feeling anything. Don't shame yourself for being triggered. Emotions show up for a reason, even if you don't know that reason right away. If it helps, try saying, "It makes sense I'd feel this way after everything I've been through." And if you've ever been hospitalized or felt like you were losing your mind, I wrote a book about my own experience at a psych ward, and you can grab it at the link right here. Or here. To be honest, I'm not sure where I'm going to put it, so I'm just going to say grab it. It supports the work I do and might help you feel a little less lonely on this journey. All right, without further delay and nothing more to say, buckle up, Buttercup. It is time to walk the middle path towards common humanity and a wise mind. In case someone hasn't told you this, you're not crazy. You're just hurt and loud about it. Really loud sometimes. Before DBT, there were parts of me that used to take the wheel without asking. Like rage, like shame, like a flood of emotions so intense I thought I would die from feeling them. People talk about BPD anger like it's some abstract storm. For me, it wasn't abstract. It was my whole body lighting on fire because I felt unseen, unheard, or misunderstood. It was smoking a whole pack of cigarettes even when my stomach started turning because I believed I was worthless and that the stomach pain was justified. It was punching the wall and then crying because I didn't want to be like this. I just didn't know how to stop. It was screaming, blacking out with rage, destroying objects, spaces, and really scaring the person who was around or people who were around. It was shutting down and harming myself with literal physical actions, sometimes putting my own and others' lives at risk, or internally by speaking to myself in cruel, unkind, and punishing ways because it was what I thought I deserved. No one tells you how humiliating it feels to come down from that, to feel the heat fade and be left with ashes and guilt. And that's where shame crept in. Shame whispered, "You're too much. You'll always be too much. You are the monster of this story, and you deserve to die." Every emotional outburst, every meltdown, every moment of intensity became another piece of evidence in the case I was building against myself. See, I would say, why should they stay? Would you? Look at you, you ruined it again. Look at you, you don't deserve love. You're broken. You're defective. You'll never change. You'll always hurt people you love eventually, and you deserve to be alone because of it. Shame convinced me I was broken, that I wasn't reacting this way because I was hurting, but because I was inherently bad. If this sounds like hell, oh, who believe me? It was. It was absolutely shitty and awful, and it was like trying to swim out of a rip current while believing you deserve to drown. You ever felt like that? Like the lifeboat is in sight, but you hope it runs you over and saves someone more deserving? No? Well, why the hell are you watching this then? Send it to someone who gets it. Just kidding. Stick around. There's more. Not kidding about sending this to people who need it, though. Do that. Now. Please. Emotions can be tough. Mine were often experienced as an unbeatable obstacle because emotional overwhelm made everything urgent and absolute. There were no small feelings, no minor setbacks, because everything felt like a crisis. A look could ruin my day. A pause in someone's voice could make me spiral. I'd go from "I love you"
to "I never want to see you again"
in under a minute and mean both with my whole chest. It wasn't drama. It was dysregulation. My emotions didn't pass through me. They drowned me. And then, when the wave passed, I'd look around and realize I'd destroyed something I cared about in the flood. Here's the thing DBT gave me. It gave me a moment of space between the feeling and the reaction. It taught me that my feelings make sense and that I can still choose what I do with them. Now, when anger shows up, I don't try to shut it down. I listen to it. I say to myself, of course you're angry. You feel hurt and scared and unseen. That makes a lot of sense. And then I check the facts. I use skills like TIP to cool down my body. I write out a dear man. I hold ice cubes. I slow my breathing. I give the anger a place to move through instead of exploding out. Now, when I'm emotionally overwhelmed, I name it. I say it out loud. I'm not in danger. I'm dysregulated. I use the stop skill. I use the please skills. I ground in the moment. If I can, I'll text a friend and say, hey, I'm in a wave right now. Can you help me ride it out? I no longer act like I'm drowning. I remind myself, I know how to swim now. Rather than drowning in despair, I remember P. Sherman Wallaby Way and just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. If you know, you know. Question. If Ellen is canceled, is Dory canceled? Can we cancel animated characters? I mean, I'm not. Finding Nemo is a masterpiece. Whatever. Shame really doesn't care that you're a complicated person. It gives no shits about the facts or truth. It just wants to sit on your chest like an obstinate elephant and die there. Now, when shame grabs me by the throat, I say, what's the safe word? It whispers back, dialectics. In all seriousness though, I imagine you're familiar with the suffocating feeling unique to shame showing up and overwhelming you. Here's what I do sometimes, and sometimes it's really helpful and effective. I place a hand on my heart, and I speak back to the voice that says, I'm broken. I say, you are allowed to be a work in progress. You are allowed to need help. You are not the worst thing you've ever done. Sometimes that voice feels disingenuous. After years of shame having the mic, the last word, and the biggest platform in my mind, it can be really hard to come into my own wise mind and believe these words. Sometimes it helps me stay present, stay skillful, and stay in the relationship. This is the dialectic. I can feel intense anger and respond with skill. I can be emotionally overwhelmed and still worthy of love. I can feel shame and choose to treat myself with compassion. This didn't come naturally. It's something I practice over and over again. Every time I fall apart, I remind myself, falling apart is human, and coming back together is healing. And here's the great news. I don't have to do it perfectly, which means neither do you. But Stefan, you may be asking, what literally can you do to tolerate this? Where's the skills, man? Show me the skills. Let's look together at opposite action and the distress tolerance skills in a segment called When I Want to Burn It All Down But Don't. How distress tolerance and opposite action save my relationships and myself. There are moments where my nervous system screams for chaos. Not because I want to be a problem, but because my body thinks destruction equals safety. Like, if I push you away, I can't be abandoned. If I scream or freeze or shut down, I won't have to feel the shame of being misunderstood. If I run, I don't have to sit with the ache of wanting to be loved. Those are the moments where I used to self-sabotage, where I'd send the text, say the thing, storm out, threaten to end it all, not because I didn't care, but because I cared so much, it physically hurt. People don't realize enough. The blazing inferno of rage you're witnessing started to burn me on the inside before you ever smelt the smoke. By the time this fire blacks out a room with scary smoke, darkness would consume all thought and shame would hold me there. Then, when the smoke eventually cleared, it would just start all over again. That's when DBT gave me a flashlight, specifically in the form of distress tolerance and opposite action. These are not perfect solutions and they're not guarantee fixes. They are simply a way through the fire. Distress tolerance taught me you don't have to solve this. You simply have to survive this. I used to think if I didn't do something in the middle of a crisis, it would consume me. But skills like tip, self-soothing, and distraction remind me this moment will pass. I can ride the wave instead of drowning in it, and I don't have to make any decisions while my house is still on fire. So I've learned to pause. I put my face in cold water. I grab an ice cube and clench it in the palm of my hand like a lifeline. I watch YouTube clips that help me calm down, make me laugh, or help me think about something else entirely. I walk around the block. I play the same song over and over until I'm out of fight or flight mode or sick of the song. To be fair, sometimes I do this even when I'm not in crisis. Hey, the song slaps. It slaps. Play it again and again. And you know what? Sometimes the urge to destroy softens. Sometimes I come back to myself just enough to realize I don't actually want to burn the bridge. I just want to be seen, to be safe. I want to be loved. Now on to opposite action. Opposite action taught me what you feel like doing might not be what helps. When shame hits, I want to hide. When anger hits, I want to explode. And when fear hits, I want to run. Opposite action says, what if you stayed? What if you relaxed your shoulders? What if you texted, "I'm struggling," instead of "I'm done"? This skill doesn't erase my feelings. It simply gives me room to act from my values rather than my fear. So when I want to isolate, I try to reach out. When I want to yell, I try to whisper. When I want to disappear, I try to ask to be held. And sometimes, yeah, it feels fake or odd at first. Slowly, though, it transforms into a great freedom. This is the dialectic. I can be full of pain and still act with wisdom. I can want to destroy everything and choose to protect what matters. I can feel like I'm falling apart and still show up for myself with love. DBT didn't cure me. It gave me choices. It gave me pause. And it gave me power. And now when the storm comes and the fire rages, I don't have to become them. I can wait it out. I can reach for the skill. I can ride the wave and meet myself on the other side. I can wait for the smoke to clear. I'll still be whole. I'll still be worthy. I'll still be here. If I can do it, there's a damn good chance you can too. Rage is not who you are. It's a symptom of inner suffering burning you from the inside out. I know now I am not broken and I am not alone, which means, technically, in theory, you are not broken and you, my friend, are not alone.